I got for selling me clothes, tuppence for selling me blanket. If ever I list for the soldier again, devil shall be me sergeant.
Right, good evening ladies and gents. First aid kits, I've been tagged by a couple of people to show what's in your first aid kit. Don't normally have time to do these type of videos, but I actually think it's a good idea because there's a few people gone, wow, yeah, I need to get that. You know, we're learning from each other. So here's Mac Tightwad's sort of various field first aid kits, and I'll try and take you through that. But first of all, just as I want a little just a moment there, this coming weekend, which will be September the 18th, 19th and 20th, there's a few of us, the normal crew like David Freres, Big Marty, Anthony Smith. Rather than doing a quick overnighter, because I can't personally get to Woodside, Sparky Steve's do, just logistics mate, can't get there, so I apologise for that Steve, it's got to be a cracking do. We're just going to go down to Ardley Farm where the normal preppers meet is, and there will be 4 or 5, something like that. You know, Mike Smith's going to pop down, and everybody's welcome. So all I'm just saying is, a lot of people say, oh, I'd love to get out with you guys, or you know, or what I don't want is somebody to watch the video if I do one of next weekend and think, blimey, I'd love to have gone to that. So it's an open invite. You know, just turn up, suit yourself, brings, you know, you're self-sufficient. And there'll be a few of us over Ardley Farm. If anybody fancies that for the weekend, everybody's more than welcome. You know, just normal bushcraft rules apply. Nobody's in charge. Suit up, turn up. You know, integrate, chill, just do whatever you want. But we're just going to do it at Ardley Farm because, you know, the covert spot, you can only get a couple of 3 people in there. So everybody's welcome, and that's just another alternative for next weekend. I know Sparky, a lot of people are going to Sparky Steve's do, and Clive Edwards, who is like a bushcraft instructor here in Essex. He's doing a bushcraft weekend, and obviously it's primarily aimed at families and people that are very new to bushcrafting, so that's something, you know, we've got to throw that in there. It seems like a good do, especially if you've got family or, you know, you're new to bushcrafting. Right, thank you for that ladies and gents. So that's the 18th, the 19th and the 20th of September, Ardley Farm. Everybody's welcome. If you've got any problems, or, you know, something daft like you've not been out before and you haven't got a sleeping bag or something, tell me, I'm sure we'll go over that. But right, let's crack on to first aid kits there. Now, there's a little word I'm going to use, and it's based on experience. It's called system redundancies. You can have the best first aid kit in the world, and it's no use if you haven't got it on you at the time. So here is my first aid kit. Right, I'm going to start moving a few bits out of the way. Right, first and foremost, some of you saw Sandy when he pulled out a thing, you know, from the smock that I sent to him because he gave me a Jack Law, and it was in an IPK bag. But ladies and gentlemen, I will describe this as a life preservation bundle, if that makes sense. Top left hand pocket, always kind of with me. And it doesn't matter where I am, if I haven't got my jacket on, you know, it's highly unlikely that what's in here will not be with me at all times, okay? So I've got the normal first aid kits, you guys, and, you know, I think this is a really, really good idea. We can make it too big, too heavy, so we don't stop carrying it, okay? But keep it simple, keep it sweet. So the first thing, and I'm going to open one of these up, is a military, well, I call it Israeli bandage, one of them. So, you know, I've got first aid applications there, and it is relevant to this because this is, if I just had that and nothing else, would I be able to preserve my life even for a short while? So I'll just let you, it's not meant to be this all singing, all dancing, but the basic elements. So I've got a first field dressing, and I will show you what's in, and I will link to these things because they're not very expensive. Absolutely excellent bits of kit, okay? All round, it's got the bandage, the dressing, the whole lot, the whole shaboodle's in there. So inside this bag, I carry a proper, not the pound shop ones, a proper emergency space blanket for shelters, preserving my core body temperature, okay? Very important, because you don't do that, you're going to die. You can have all the, you know, first aid kits in the world. Okay, so I'll put that there. Inside of here, there's some sanitising hand wipes, large plasters, and I always put some Steri tabs inside of there. And before we go on, inside here, again, there's a very, very small lighter, okay, if I need to light a fire. And, you know, we can all do the bow drills and all that type of stuff, but there's going to be times when I need to get a fire going. Okay, and that is full up. So also inside there is some more plasters, just the normal side plasters, they're the larger ones, and I think there's about 30 odd sterilising tablets in there. So I can, water's essential for life, a couple of days without that, I've got the ability to quickly sterilise water, some first aid, more first aid, be able to sanitise stuff. You know, a lot of the time you're going to cut your fingers and so forth, and you're going to go straight to your left hand top pocket. You can carry it in the right hand, it's just being an old soldier. It was always SOPs for us, standard operation procedure, anything medical, top left hand pocket, so we all know where it was. Something to keep me warm with, and again, lighting fires. Little thing, so it just slips in and out of whatever jacket I'm wearing at the time. And inside here, I did do a video of these little things, I'm loving these. Little book of matches, again it's systems redundancy, and inside of there are some surgical blades, but these are the little fire starters that I made and started using, the wax fire starters. So just in my top left hand pocket, this is always going to be with me, and this is the beauty of this thing. I've got the ability to light fire, purify water, minor first aid in the plasters, don't start carrying anything, purify water, plasters, an emergency bandage, which I'm going to quickly show you now, and a silver 4 blanket. Now that's just, I've just got a very small life preservation kit. I don't really know how to use it. It would be the last thing that you used, obviously, for first aid, because the other bits is what I'm going to show you now. I would be using if you know somebody cuts their hands, so or has an injury. But basically, that all, I'm going to shove it to the side and sort that out later on, is what I carry on me, ladies and gents. There's a couple of ways of making fire: space blanket, purifying water, plasters. Now, a lot of the time I think in the field we probably are going to be burnt or cut because we're using various things. Now, so prevention, I've showed you these gloves before, Cook's Essentials, they are different names, that's just the firm. I have literally picked up a boiling hot kettle and a firebox on a couple of occasions that needed to be moved, heat-proof gloves. And again, they'll still protect your hands, you know, when you're doing other tasks and that as well. So we're looking at 15 quid there. There is, if you've not seen the other videos, there is ones where you see me, you know, demonstrating and just lifting up boiling hot vessels of water. So they're obviously part of my first aid or prevention, injury prevention kits, if that makes sense. And I think that you could probably say the top pocket one, if I was in a bad situation, there's anything in there that I need basic, just to prevent my condition from or situation from becoming worse. Right, ladies and gents, so one thing I will do is the first field dressing or Israeli bandages. I'll put a link to where I got them for. These are actually brilliant bits of kit, so I want to show you what's inside one, because you don't open them up, they just sit there dormant, ready to use. Okay, this is one I did a previous video on, but inside of them, cracking bits of kit, don't cost a great deal of money, is a large sterile gorge bandage, just making sure I'm in shot there, and the 2 wings that you could obviously you know, you tie around, if that makes sense, and that's how you secure. And obviously that can be used for a small injury if you've got one and you needed to use it, or you know, quite a substantial cut, and again it swells up as the blood and then puts pressure on the wound. But that's inside one of these, and I always employ, you know, they're just cracking bits of kit, fail safe, you know, keep it simple, keep it stupid. So that's what's in one of them. And what I will say, ladies and gents, I'll drop that on the floor for a minute, I've got that in my top pocket, and I have a little belt pouch, people call it, you know, necessary pouches or whatever. Inside of there's a space blanket, where you're making fire, there's water purification tablets, and almost that top pocket kit is, you know, replicated inside of that. I'm not going to pull it all out, but so it doesn't weigh a great deal. So I've got one in my top pocket and one on my belt, okay? And this stuff doesn't weigh a great deal, because the idea of it is that you have it with you at the time. Now, what everybody else wants to see now is the actual, I say, main body of the first aid kit, okay? This is that. I found a nice little container. It's red, which is a good idea. It's got a carabiner on it, so, and I think it should be, or I've adopted it because it's a blooming good idea. Bushcraft industry standard SOP that once you've got your basher or your living arrangement, whatever it is, your tarp, these can be clipped so they're visible, they're outside. And if this is yours and you get injured and I'm there, I can run to your first aid kit or any first aid kit that's the nearest one to deal with a casualty. Okay, on here there is a thermometer, so I'll know the true outside air temperature. We're talking about hypothermia. I'm not going to start going into first aid, it's just too long-winded. I might be the only person there, I need help and assistance from the other members of the group are not there, so I'll stick a whistle on the outside. And in here, okay, on the outside, don't be flapping about for these things when you want them, is a face shield for giving CPR. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is what they called it when I was at school. So that is it, the outside, you know, it's waterproof, always at the top of your Bergen, and then when you get there you set up your shelters and so forth, hang it so people can see it. I don't intend pulling everything out of here, but I've got loads of sterols, sanitising strips there, alcohol based, and some non-alcohol. Inside of there are bandages for virtually everything. There's triangular bandages, 2 of them in there. So just making sure. Again, there's 2 things that we're going to be caught out with. And I think that's burns and obviously cut injuries. So that's all on that side. And as we turn round, there's obviously a really good plaster kit. That's probably going to the most thing, but hopefully we're going to use anyway. Just trying to make sure I'm in shot. Some tape there. The few pairs of really good rubber gloves should you need them. And again, different first field dressings and bandages of all descriptions to deal with any cuts or anything like that. Another set of gloves there, and sterile strips there, and various dressings and then bandages to go with there. Again, a decent set of cutting scissors. Okay, they will cut clothing if they need to. But I'll shove all that back in there once you get it packed up. And you know, you've got to know where it is, be able to get to it easily, and know how to use it. Some people, I need to sort of point out, it's first aid. It's not Dr. Quincy, so it's no point carrying stuff that you don't really fully know how to use. So that would be, I'd say, not my main first aid kit, but that's the one that I'm using for the moment. Various kits and pieces of kit on the outside that I need to get to quickly. Loads of stuff on the inside. Again, I don't want to pull out every single bandage and show you that. That'll just bore you to death. And obviously I've come from a military background, so again, in the top part of my Bergen, I do carry a couple. These are exactly the same as the ones I've just shown you, but larger, the Israeli bandages, and these are the ones that when you wrap round, it will put pressure on the wound. It's like an elasticized bandage that goes around the side, and a couple of them. I had an ex-soldier friend who just give me one of them, and I always carry at least 1 or 2 of them, and these are for major wounds. Like, you know, somebody's, well, give themselves a really good cut or a good slash with a knife. Again, there's some more little bandages in there, and again, a whole hand burn dressing. Okay, once it's clean, it goes inside that and keeps the, you know, your hand sterile, preventing infection. It's picking up now. Now I just have this little tub at the moment. It inside is been washed out with bleach and Dettol. The reason is, if you're standing there and someone in the group, or you've done it, and you've lost a digit or your finger for whatever reason, you need somewhere that's at the very least not sterile but very clean to put that until you can get somebody to a hospital. Hopefully the digit is still in good order that they can micro sew it back on. So that's why I carry a little Tupperware box, if I can. Right, there's the rebreather. You know, if you need to give somebody CPR and they've got damage to the face, you can do so with that, okay? Bearing in mind, most people who need CPR have probably regurgitated what's in their stomach as well. Non-woven pads, bandages, there's more steri wipes, again, I'm carrying a load of these bandages, and these are the little grip ones as well, so you can introduce pressure over the wound. Now, obviously, that is a sterile surgical stitch cutter, something that you can sew somebody up. So there's a lovely needle in there, and attached to that needle, ready to go, is thread, so you can sew up a wound if needed be. And there's a couple of them there. Totally sterile. Inside of there is 5 Swan Norton surgical blades, really sharp blades. And again, as long as that's not used, you know, if you need to do something, they are still sterile, as are the sewing up items. Again, always fill up the gaps with any plasters, some more gloves, some smaller dressings. Obviously just pick the dressing that's needed for the wound that you're dealing with. And again, loads of alcohol based and non-alcohol based sterile wipes. Inside of there is like some Imodium that's going to stop you if you get the fast speed poo-poos. That's a way of dehydrating your body, Diarrhea and so forth. That will stop you getting the Tommy Tits or curing it. Now, but obviously some pain relief, there's some headaches in there, and in another one I've got just some antibiotics, which are really great if you can get hold of to fight infection. And again, there's some sugar, salt sachets in there and that as well, and that's all to do with rehydration. Everything in there is designed just to keep your body as it should be. So ladies and gents, that's basically my first aid kit. I have like a life preservation kit in my top left hand pocket, roughly the same. Just keep it small, keep it simple, the very basic that you need. And you've seen it now, so I won't keep going over. I carry one roughly the same in my belt kit. That's always in the top of my Bergen, i.e. the red first aid kit, and so is that, if that makes sense. So I can get to that really quickly. I will, because everything's evolving, take you through what I'm going to do to upgrade my first aid kit. So I've got that and that in the same place. I've got me really tough Tupperware box, and this is something I did have while I was in the army. It was just slightly smaller than this, excuse me. That and that, very soon will all fit into that. I will make a bag for that that's very much like that, an outer bag for it. Okay, so everything's all in the one place. Bosh, and that's my plan, that and everything in there will quite easily fit in here. I've dumped this under the water. It's spent 24 hours underneath in a bucket of water just to make sure it's tough enough, with some hand towel inside. Pulled it out the next morning. It's definitely waterproof, 24 hours submerged in water. A lot of the stuff in the first aid kit will become unusable if you allow it to get wet. So that's my next sort of project. That will be my first aid kit, and it won't weigh a great deal either. Luckily, first aid kits don't actually weigh a great deal. Now, some people are carrying some kit, brilliant. You know, I've got a full-on, combat grade military tourniquet there. I'm not going to talk about these things. There's a couple of other bits I've got, because if you're not trained to use them, sometimes you can do more harm by thinking you're Dr. Quincy, you know, and going too far. First aid is literally that. You're just helping preserve that person's life until you can get them to proper medical aid. So ladies and gents, thanks a lot, appreciate your time for watching there, and as I say, if anybody fancies a weekend out next weekend and you're not doing nothing, Ardley Farm, 18th, 19th and 20th of September 2015. There's going to be a few, doesn't matter how many, and everybody's welcome to pop up there should you wish to go out, or you want to just have a weekend in the woods. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time, and be lucky.